Good morning. Good morning. Vincent Leone.
What's up?
You're supposed to come over here and have my spot ready for me.
I was looking at stuff. I decided.
You failed.
I was looking at the gun I don't have.
You have one job. Well, that's not true. You have like 27 jobs. But one job right now.
That's fair.
Hi, Vincent.
Oh, hello. Hello, Internet.
How the hell is you?
I am fan goddamn.
That's great. I'm so happy to hear that. It's so nice to be here with you
The
today.
Internet can't handle the sarcasm.
No. Probably not.
Yeah.
So, last day of freaking July. It's crazy. I didn't even realize it until I was typing the date on here, but it's the last freaking day of July. That's bonkers to me. It means summer's almost over, which is, I mean, in a way it's good because my kids go back to school. But another way, it's like freaking summer's almost over. Holy crap. Anyway, good morning. Welcome to the range. If you saw the title, can you make the choice to be violent? Do you need to make the choice to be violent? That's what I want to talk about today. This came about, we've talked about this in the past. I don't know if we've made it like a topic, but this morning I was at jiu-jitsu and I got partnered up with a young lady who's new, and we're just kind of going over some basic stuff. And her first real day was Monday, which, and by the way, if you didn't see Mondays, she's also a Lady Sentinel member. She comes here and she shoots. She's part of the Lady Sentinel group. So it's really freaking cool. But so her and I got partnered up on Monday and today. Monday we were just working on what's called sweeps, just like knocking people over and stuff like that from different positions. Today we were working on chokes, and she'd never choked anybody before. And so coach is talking her through, do this, do that, do this. And she had me in the choke. We're working on a triangle choke, which is with your legs around somebody's neck. And she had me in the position for the choke, but then was like, coach was like, so squeeze. And she's like, but I don't want to hurt him. It's like, you're not going to hurt him, but you need to choke him, right? And she's like, but I don't want to. And then she did, and it was good. Afterwards, she said a really cool thing to me. She had said that she'd been in some classes with Liz and talked about Liz talking about having to make the choice to be violent, and that it's not easy if you've never done it before. Nick, good morning. And that's just absolutely true, right? If you, for some people that's harder than others. For her, it was tough this morning. Now, it was kind of cool because after she realized that it was okay, A, she had control of what she was doing. B, more importantly, she had control of me. And 27, it wasn't hurting me. It was easier for her to do it. And then she just choked the crap out of me the rest of the session, which was awesome. But that can be a really tough choice. So weird. Liz has changed a lot. I bet. For somebody that's known her a long time, that's fun to hear and awesome to hear. It's awesome to hear. So in her case this morning, it was she had that aha moment, if you will. She grew a glorious beard.
You're welcome.
Oh. Good morning, Liz.
Hello.
I had the same thing happen at jiu-jitsu with a guy, which is unusual. Miss Elizabeth, good morning. This was maybe a year ago, and he still comes to the gym, but his first couple of times at the gym, he was having a really hard time with putting pressure on somebody, and chokes. He did not want to choke me. He just did not. What'd you think? Yeah, you missed. It went right over her head. She must be sitting down.
Not even here.
Yeah, right over her head. Because this is normally you, Liz, but now you have a beard. Very glorious beard, I might add.
Thank you.
So, good job. But that choice can be really, really tough to make, and it's something you got to consider. You really have to consider your ability to turn that on. People think like, well, if somebody breaks in my house, I'm just going to do this, or I'm just going to do that, or if somebody tries to take my kid, I'm just going to do this. You probably won't. You probably won't do that unless you've practiced. Join a little late. This feels like a wildly different conversation from guns to I want to choke you.
You're welcome.
I mean, you're not wrong. But it's not about choking. It's about making a decision to be violent.
Yep.
Using a reference of chokes because that's where the conversation came from this morning. And after class, her and I had a great discussion about that whole thing. And it's cool to hear, especially from somebody who's a student of ours, that things she learned here, she was able to apply someplace else. Took her a moment, but when she realized that, hey, this is exactly what Liz was talking about, that's really cool. Okay, so it's important to. That was weird.
Mm-hmm.
It's an important thing. Now, how does that relate to shooting? You can't. You can't shoot me.
No.
You can't come close. There's things you can practice.
There is. Even just at the very bottom level, this cool plastic thing in the shape of a gun called a blue gun or an orange gun or a yellow gun or whatever color your plastic fake gun is. I've had students that that don't want to point that thing at me. I literally just had a basic handgun the other day, and they had a fake plastic shaped thing that was in the shape of a gun. It's just a hunk of plastic. It doesn't do anything. And they would hold on to it. And each time I would walk even remotely in front of them, they dip it down each time. Even though I know it's fake, they know it's fake. We know it's not a gun. It's a piece of plastic in the shape and form of gun. It's not even close to real. And so there's that balance of, but you treat every gun as if it is a loaded gun. That's the shape of a gun.
It's not a gun.
But it's in the shape of a gun, and that's where our brain goes.
Yes.
Brain goes shaped gun, bad.
We had this conversation a couple months ago about the rules, the four fundamental safety rules, and if they should change or not. Vin and I were talking about that a little bit this morning, and you can go back and find that video. I won't hash it all out here, but I just finished reading a book that actually Liz is reading right now, and at the end of the book, he gets into the very much the same thing about the rules and that they're goofy and all that stuff. Charles, good morning. Liz is very late.
Dang.
She's still on vacation like you, so she's being
like
very...
4 days late.
You're not here, she's not here, you're all late. So, anyway. Where was it? Sorry, got squirreled by another conversation. Shape of a gun. And rules, bad. Rules are good, but the way you implement or use the rules, we want your gun handling to be automatic and be conscious and be safe when you handle a gun. Okay? Now, so you get into force on force. It's not something that we do here, but there are people that do offer it. It's something that hopefully we will be able to do at some point. We would love to do that. There are plenty of trainers out there. I shouldn't say plenty.
There's a good handful of good ones.
Yes, there are a bunch of people who say they'll do force on force, and then there's much less of those that actually do it well. One that I have not taken, I really, really want to take, is from Craig Douglas. I would
That'd be awesome.
freaking love to go take a class from him. I need to go do that. It's just something that I got to go do. They're not expensive. They are not inexpensive, but totally worth it. From what I've heard, again, I've not taken a class from Craig Douglas, but I would not hesitate in a moment if I could. Anyway, getting into some force on force, or just even messing around with a blue gun. right? Get it. Go on Amazon, buy yourself a blue gun that's similar in shape to yours, and practice drawing it on somebody. Practice giving commands. Practice being verbal while you do something. Practice trying to keep somebody from getting your gun. So I've talked about this before as well, but I'll highlight it here too. I've done a fair amount of that. I won't say a bunch of that, but I've done a fair amount of that type of stuff with blue guns, with airsoft guns, with simunitions or UTM rounds. I've got scars on me to prove it. Anyway, and it's awesome. I got to go to a simulated force-on-force class one time with Elizabeth, and we used our guns. So it was dry fire, right? And the way that it worked is you checked in for class, and then they took your gun from you, and person A took it apart and put a fake barrel in it, so no live ammo can get put in the gun. And they hand it off to somebody else. That somebody else checks it to make sure that there's a fake barrel in the gun. They hand it off to somebody else. That person checks it to make sure there's a fake barrel in the gun. Then they hand it to you and tell you to check it. And then you put it in your holster. The disadvantage to this is that you don't get to shoot simunitions or any of that sort of stuff, or airsoft. The advantage to it is that you have your gear, right? Your holster, your gun. Because sometimes if you carry a SIG P365, but you go take a force-on-force class with sim guns, you're shooting a Glock, right? Now, for me, that's not a big deal because I shoot Glock or Glock-ish guns. That's fine for me. Most of my holsters are going to work for them and all that. But you still don't get to use your stuff. In this case, I got to use my stuff. So we get broke up into groups, and Liz and I are in the same group. And we got chosen to go first. One of us was the good guy, bad guy. I don't even remember. I'm pretty sure I was the good guy. She was the bad guy. But at any rate, she attacked me. I had to defend my gun, create some space, draw my gun. I couldn't do it. We started this scenario, and we started fighting a little bit. I'm protecting my gun. I create a little bit of distance, and I went for my gun. And as soon as I touched it, I knew it was my gun, not a blue gun, not a sim gun, not something that wasn't my real gun that I carry every day. And as soon as I grabbed it, my brain went, whoa, wait a minute. That's not okay. Now, was that because I was trying to draw a gun on somebody? Was that because I was trying to draw a gun on Liz, who I know and I train with and I know I don't want to shoot? I don't know. Would that happen if I had to do it for real tomorrow? I'd like to think not, but I don't know. And unfortunately, the look on my face, she could see. And I actually stopped the training evolution. The trainer was super cool about it. He's like, yeah, no problem, dude. I said, hey, I just want to make sure one more time. So we all checked. I checked my gun to make sure it was good, and then we went through it, and I shot her, and I won. But regardless, that first time I couldn't do it. And that was tough for me, right? Like, I want to win the fight. Yep. And then the fight happens, and I touch my gun, and I'm like, maybe not. Maybe I don't want to do this anymore. That's tough. But the cool thing is I had time to process that and work through it and know that, hey, this is a training evolution. I know everything's good, and we pushed through it. My hope is that if something went sideways this afternoon on my way home and I had to use my gun, I'd be able to. I truly think I would be able to. I also know I don't want to, which is another big choice or understanding you have to have about use of force, is to try. You want to do everything you can not to, but you need to be able to.
It's a struggling balance, and that's where a lot of people struggle to do violent things, or to even want to do violent things. You ask me to choke you, I have no fucking problem. Sorry. I have no problem. But my bigger issue is not of the doing the violence. I'm willing to. My issue is what is the repercussions for my violence? So if you ask me to choke you and you say, hey, I just want you to do it, it's fine. All right, so be it. But if you say, hey, will you elbow me in the face hard enough to knock me out? I mean, I will, but what are the repercussions? Am I getting fired after I do this?
Or are you getting...
Or am I getting legally in trouble?
Am I getting stabbed because I
Yes.
did this thing?
Like,
right?
is there repercussions to these actions, and are they worth it in the long run? So it's one of those where that's my bigger apprehension. It's not the apprehension of doing it, it's the apprehension of the consequences of those actions. So it's a struggling balancing game of, am I justified in doing what I need to do? And as long as I can justify it in my head in about 2 to 4/10 of a second,
Yeah.
then cool. That's how
All
long I
the
got.
time in the world.
That's all I got. I got about 2 to 4/10 of a second
Yeah.
to make that decision, to decide if I'm justified or not justified, to then decide to make that action.
When
It's a struggle.
Brian was in town, we talked about Adam Winch was here as well, taking the class and sort of AIing for Brian a little bit. Especially heavily in you. But we had a great discussion with Adam one night. We went out for dinner about being violent, and he talks about really being violent and being violent right now, and that it's not, you can't test the waters with violence, essentially, right? You can't do it a little bit and see what happens.
Yep.
You have to make the choice to be righteously violent.
Yep.
And that's tough for a lot of people, especially for women. And gosh dang it, it's crazy how all the stars align, the worlds collide, or whatever it is. But this morning, again, at jiu-jitsu, very first conversation I had with one of the other guys that goes there, Jared, we were talking about being on the mats and rolling around and so forth, and the fact that he just heard an interview or read a book or something about little boys, and the fact that we grew up, and hopefully most kids do now, growing up fighting. You know, I'm sure you fought like crazy with your brother and your friends, and it was not uncommon for me and my friends to put boxing gloves on and go in my buddy's basement and beat the crap out of each other, wrestling and whatever, for fun, or because you get pissed at somebody and that's how you settle disputes and whatever. With girls, that's often like, oh, don't do that, don't roughhouse, don't play that way. For some girls, not for all. Yeah. And so they don't really understand what limits are, right? That's the advantage of playing like that as a little kid, is that you learn your limits, the limits of other people, when to stop, when to start, what your actions create a reaction from them, from whatever it is. Maybe it's more violence, maybe it's them stopping violence, whatever. But you learn that at a primal level at that young age, and we take that away from women by not letting girls do that. When I was in high school, girls wrestled, but only like 4 of them in the state, not many. This past year, my son started wrestling, and the amount of girls we have on our wrestling team at Lafayette High School is freaking awesome. And I tell you what, they are freaking badass too. It's a ton of fun to watch. And I wish more did it. I wish more came to jiu-jitsu. I wish more came here to the range. Not because I want you to be violent. I want you to know what violence is, and I want you to have the ability to be violent. If you want to. That's all. Liz says, when she accidentally elbows her partner in the face and it makes me stop. Yeah, and that happens. I don't want to say her name, but the girl I was rolling with this morning, similar type of thing happened. I don't know, she kneed me or something while she was trying to do something. She's like, oh, I'm sorry, and stop what you're doing. I'm like, no, don't worry about that. Keep going. You don't have to, we're here for that. So anyway, we got a couple of minutes, so Anything else to add, Vincent?
Get training.
Get training. In whatever it is, right? Obviously,
Whatever.
for us, it's in the firearms
Or
world.
actually rephrase it. Go learn a new skill. Go learn
So-
a new skill, whatever that may be. Learn something else, better yourself.
Monday, I talked about taking 5 minutes out of your day just to practice something.
Yeah.
Well, it could be gun related, it could be your draw, it could be your presentation or whatever. It could be learning to write better, it could be whatever, something simple. Learning a new skill is an interesting thing,
Yep.
right? Picking a thing that you know nothing about
And try to learn more
and
about
try to learn about it, or something you think you know about. I'm sure we talked about this before too, but something as simple as going for a run, right? Like I've something I've started doing a little bit more, and I've thought about going and talking to a coach and getting some training on how to do it better. I know how to run. When you say run that way, I can run that way.
it. But are you doing it well?
But am I doing it well? Am I doing it efficiently? Probably not. I could learn how to do it. I ride bikes a lot. I still take classes on how to ride bikes. I shoot guns a lot. I still take classes on how to shoot guns, right? You're not too good to take a class about a thing. You don't know everything there is to know about it. I guarantee you. Go learn stuff. Today, being the last day of the month, is your last day, if you are a member, to get the free member shirt. So let me show that real quick, and then we got to get running. I got to go to a meeting. Vinny's got to get the doors open. Where's the button? There's the button. So here's our new member shirt. Today's the last day, if you're a member, to come in and get your free shirt. If you're not a member, you can purchase one at $25. But if you're a member and you haven't already gotten your shirt, come in and get it. Today's the day. After tomorrow, you can still get your shirt, but it's going to cost you $25. So it's not our fault. Again, like I said at the beginning of the month, if you're on vacation for the whole month of July, you're not getting a free shirt. Sorry. You were on vacation for the whole month of July. You can afford $25. Just saying. All right. Bye, Liz. You have a super fantastic day as well. All right, we're going away. We got to go actually do work. Liz, enjoy the rest of your vacation. Liz will be back. We don't know when Liz will be back. She has confusing, conflicting information. But she'll be back someday. You guys have a super awesome day. If you need something, come see us, 14803 Manchester Road in beautiful Baldwin, Missouri. 10 to 8, Monday through Friday, Saturday 9 to 6, Sunday 10 to 6. Be awesome. Go learn something fun and new and exciting. You guys stay safe. Be nice to one another. Catch you soon. Later.